Monster Camp is the sequel to the well-known competitive dating sim slash choose-your-own-adventure known as Monster Prom, and filled with much the same tongue-in-cheek humor, diabolical characters, and silly predicaments that can only be formed in the presence of horny teenage monsters vying for the attention of the temporary loves of their lives. Like its predecessor, the game is layered with a care and attention to detail that is trademark of the multiplayer choose-your-own-adventure genre, with skill-boosting exploration of areas having a variety of outcomes, the ability to help or even hinder the other players as you compete over resources and objectives, as well as a very distinct story beat that is to be found based on your choices and the choices of the other players. The art style of Monster Camp is very similar to its predecessor, and very comfortably walks the line between creepy and cute exceptionally well, neither taking itself too seriously nor getting sloppy with its design. And unlike proper dating sim games that people would likely be quick to compare this to, Monster Camp has a very obvious lack of fan service, in favor of instead showing off more personality and humor-focused design, rather than titillation, to keep you engaged. And frankly, it works exceptionally well. Included with this nice design work is a lot of in-joke and referencing that will reach people of a variety of generations and backgrounds, with everything from Monty Python references from the 70s to memes closer to the age of YouTube with "not the bees," and even a handful of super recent references. This wide-spanning set of jokes means that if you're willing to take them in, there will be something here for almost everyone to latch onto and feel at least a pinch of humor or nostalgia for. In terms of actual gameplay, it is a fairly basic formula, and one that anyone who's played the genre regularly will be familiar with. At each point in the day, the players choose a potential location to spend their time at. Part of the competitive aspect being that if another player has already chosen that location, you'll be locked out of it until the next selection stage. Each of these locations provides a bump to a stat, as well as a challenge that can result in additional stat gains or stat penalties depending on how you interact with your character's story in that location. To keep things fair, the turn order can be changed as you progress through the game, so one player doesn't always have first dibs to lock out the other players. With Monster Camp, every few days you'll also have a socializing event where players choose where to sit during the event. This will allow you to not only interact with the romance you're pursuing, but also block out other players from interacting with them as well, or even spread rumors about them if you choose the Mothman. These events can help you fine-tune your approach to the endgame, where the ultimate goal is to find your romance or yourself successfully by achieving these events as well as stats throughout the game. And it is worth noting that while it will give you a person to pursue at the start of the game during your character setup, you're not locked into that character. They just serve as the person you spend your time interacting with during the primary story beats. The reality is you can, in the end, choose who you ask out from the entire list of monsters at the camp. For example, when playing through with some friends, the game paired me with Dahlia, the demoness, for the story beats. But in the end, I ended up selecting Calculester due to how the events unfolded and how my stats were built up. Overall, while this was not entirely my personal cup of tea, as I generally prefer games in this genre more like the Yawhg and Fatagan with more mystery-based story beats, the quality and design present in Monster Camp cannot be ignored. And if you're looking for a solid entry in the competitive choose-your-own-adventure space, this will most definitely scratch that itch, alongside with a small dose of romantic tongue-in-cheek comedy.